What's going on, guys? Mecha Ish here from the Spider-Man Legends Sandman Build-A-Figure wave. I have Black Suit Symbiote Spider-Man. Let's do it.
138 in progress. Prepare for launch in 3, 2.
Step out of your world and step into mine.
Welcome back, guys, to another Marvel Legends action figure review. And from the Spider-Man Legends Sandman Build-A-Figure wave, I have the Symbiote Spider-Man, aka Spider-Man in his black suit. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen the Symbiote Spider-Man in the Marvel Legends collection, but this may be one of the best. Let's take a look at your standard window box packaging here with the Build-A-Figure logo, Marvel Sandman. At the top left, as you can see there, you got the Spider-Man emblem, Legend Series, and a nice window view of the black suit Spider-Man, along with his two interchangeable hands, and you have interchangeable accessories for the Sandman Build-A-Figure. Marvel Spider-Man, Spider-Man. On both sides of this packaging, you have the same nice looking artwork of Symbiote Spider-Man. And at the back of the box, you have another nice looking image, this time of the action figure posed up in front of that red lighting. Of course, you have the Marvel Legends Series logo again at the top left, and it says stealthily suited in black. Spider-Man possesses incredible web-slinging, wall-crawling powers. And here at the bottom, you can see the entire lineup needed to build this Sandman Build-A-Figure. Go ahead and check out my reviews on all of them I've done so far. I have Spider-Man 2099 coming up next, and of course, we have the Sandman himself. Alright, let's take Black Suit Spider-Man outside of his box, and let's see what he's all about. So here we have Black Suit Spider-Man outside of his packaging, standing a little over 6 inches in height. He comes with those two big accessories for the Sandman Build-A-Figure, and of course, his two interchangeable hands. Now, I've always loved the look of this Black Suit Symbiote Spider-Man, but I do have some issues with the way the paint has come out on this figure, which we're gonna get to right now. So let's take a closer look at Spider-Man. Now, this Black Suit Spider-Man is reusing that pizza Spidey mold that we have seen Hasbro use in recent Spider-Man waves, which I am absolutely a fan of. I love the articulation, I love the way he looks. I think it's just a perfect slender build for Spider-Man. Now, Symbiote Spider-Man has a very simplistic design. It doesn't have all those web lines like we see with the standard costume here. There's a whole lot of black and a little bit of white. So on the figure, when you have that little bit of white and it's just not painted perfectly, it's going to be very noticeable. So now here in his abdomen, you can see it's nicely done for the most part in the white, but then you have some chipping there where some of the black is coming through, and you can especially see that sloppy paintwork here on the right side of his ribs. And here at the back, you can see some more of the black bleeding through on the bottom of his spider symbol. Now, being that this is a figure totally done in black plastic with a little bit of white paint, you do see some of the white paint that is splotched on over to the left side of his shoulder. You got a little bit more at the top here on the left side of his shoulder as well. Now, when looking at his head, this is actually my second Black Suit Spider-Man, and the other one had a lot of that black chipping on the eyes. Here, I wanted to pick the best figure that had that nicest head sculpt and paint application. So you can see on my figure right here, all of that white is nicely painted. You don't have any bleeding or chipping, and it's all done so well within the sculpt. And I absolutely love the way this head sculpt looks. You can see the ridges right there at his eyebrows, and then of course you have those big white eyes of his and the big wide sculpt of that. And then everything else is so nice and smooth. You can see there's nose sculpted in, and then his chin. That's an awesome, traditional looking Spider-Man head sculpt. Now here we get to the body of Spider-Man, which again is reusing that pizza Spidey mold. So we've seen it used many times before, but I absolutely love it. It has a very slender, athletic build to it. He looks very agile, which Spider-Man should look like, and then we have some nice musculature all the way throughout. Now here it is two-fisted hands. You can see the white is nicely painted, and you even have the little black dot at the top of his hand as well. And I just love the way they sculpted these hands with that clenched fist, and you can see how tight he's clenching it, as you can see the wrinkles sculpted in on the inside of his thumb. Now, even though I had issues with some of the paint work on this figure, I do think they applied the Spider-Man symbols at the front and the back evenly. I do like how it's not off-centered, and they did a great job. I just wish they would have painted it a little more thoroughly. Now, going down the rest of the figure, you can see some more of that awesome musculature sculpted in there, and as you can see, it's all done in that black plastic. Now, this Spider-Man also comes with two interchangeable wall-crawling hands. So we're going to remove this fisted one on the left. You see how easy that came off. And I'm going to slot this one right in there. You hear the little snap. And I'm going to do the same thing for the right side. And there you go. Spider-Man is ready to climb some walls and surprise some enemies. Now, I did want to mention something at the bottom of his head sculpt. As you can see, these two little prongs of plastic just sticking right out underneath his jaw. This is more annoying than anything because it's a factory defect, and I could probably just peel it off, but I've seen my other Spider-Man has the same exact thing. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys, but just be careful when carving it out. Of course, you want to hurt yourself, and you definitely don't want to damage the figure. Now, for articulation, this Spider-Man is loaded with it. You got his head rotating on a 360-degree axis. He can elevate his head all the way up like that, and he can also look down a bunch as well. Now, with this pizza Spidey mode, we do have the addition of these extra butterfly joints. You can see it expands his chest and also contracts his chest, so you get some more expansion here at the back of his scapula, if you will, just to get more range of motion. But it helps with the shoulder articulation, widens him out a little bit, and we do have some rotation at the shoulder, goes all the way around. As you can see, it's kind of fumbling around with that extra joint there, but he does have a hinge that allows for extension going upward about that much, can go all the way down, and we do have a rotation at the bicep. We do have a double jointed elbow, we have a rotation at the wrist, and of course we have a hinge at the wrist. Now he also has a beautiful ab crunch articulation, which allows for great flexion going downward, and he can arch his back a very good amount. Now I did want to point out the space that he has in between his abdomen and his upper torso, so it should not chip off the rest of that white paint. So as you can see here, it slides down and it goes up, and the top of his body is not rubbing up against his abdomen. We do have a 360 waist swivel. We do have your standard Marvel Legends hip joint, which allows for limited range of motion of his leg going back. He can kick to the side a little bit more, but he can definitely kick all the way up like that. He has a thigh cut rotation, a double jointed knee, and then we have a hinge which allows for downward flexion, upward flexion, and of course an ankle rocker rotation. And if you're having any trouble standing him up, he does have two peg holes at the bottom of his feet, plus he has a peg hole to help him with some awesome poses. So there you have it, guys, my video review of the Spider-Man Legends Sandman Build-A-Figure Waves Black Suit Symbiote Spider-Man. Happy to have this updated Hasbro version of this iconic look of Spider-Man to add to the Marvel Legends collection. And even though I have some issues with his paint applications, at least his spider symbol had all of the legs painted, unlike my Venom a while back. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a thumbs up and check out my channel for other reviews I have done. And I have so many cool things coming your way, so make sure you all like, subscribe, comment, and share. You know what to do. Peace.